International Coffee Day today, so Beck has bought coffee, and it was free apparently. So coffee shops are
happy days.
Free coffee. So I couldn't be more happy with that. I loved it. So welcome to the chat room. Today I have Beck McCowan. She is a social media strategist, and she is pretty much the backbone that has got Bahari Bay Company Crystal Smelling Salts off the ground. I had I had a web page, and I had tried to set up Facebook, but had done it very badly. And you have been able to come in like my angel and sort it all out, lift things, take things, delete things, and help me get organised and on the way. So without a person like you in a person like my life, things just wouldn't have got as far as they have.
There was plenty to work with, so it was easy.
A mess. Lots of things to work with. So that's what I guess a social media strategist does. Would you like to explain?
Yes, well, I think there's a lot to it, really. It sounds like we're just people who do social media, and that probably is a lot of it. But there's so much to a social media strategy, and it's not just about pretty pictures or, using cool emojis in captions. It's really about putting it together at the beginning and having those thoughts like we did with Bahari Bay and Crystal Smelling Salts, putting together what the business is and really being able to communicate that to a wide audience and the target audience for what the business is, and being able to do that consistently, on message, on brand, and just everything be cohesive is really, it's sort of that helicopter view of everything that's going on in the business. So there's more to it than just posting on social media every day.
And I think that one of the important things that you've taught me is it isn't about those pretty pictures. That has a massive part to it, but it's also staying true to who you are and finding, it's really easy to get distracted by what lots of other people are doing and how gorgeous their things are looking. But it's also about staying true to what your message is, what you're doing within your business, because that's resonating with the people that you want to come to your business.
Absolutely. I think that's really important. It's about, if you were being you on Facebook, you would be posting things that people know about you or sharing things about yourself. And it's exactly the same doing that for a business. It's what do you want people to know about your business? If they were to come here today and join us in the studio, what would they expect to find? They know from looking at your socials that it's calming, it smells amazing, it looks amazing, and that you're the person they're going to see when they walk in, and that's what it's all about, telling that story really of the business.
Yeah. So Beck, where did your career start? What were you doing before you were doing this?
Well, I've worked in probably government administration for the last 10 years, probably, from councils to state governments. Mostly that's been around writing correspondence for different politicians and executives, and I think that's where it's the same in a lot of ways to social media, in terms of what I do is write a message to communicate it to an audience, and it's just taking that skill, I guess, from one arena to the other. Social media is obviously very different. I've got a lot less page space to work with, but I also don't have to go through the process of getting signatures approved. So it's the same in a lot of ways, but also different. I found that in those administration roles, I liked it, but it was often, it could be frustrating from day to day to find or to see the beginning and end of things. You could often start something and get part of the way through, and then it moved on to someone else. You didn't always see the end product, and I found that not quite as satisfying as I would have liked. I'd like to see things through and know that they've gone somewhere and it's been useful for someone. So
Well, you put a lot of time and effort into those things, so exactly. So how did the shift come that you moved from that to Purple Patch?
I think it was time for me. I had done a lot of different things that I really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed the people that I I worked with and spent time with, but I just didn't feel like I could see a next step within the organisation, and I didn't want to just sit around and wait for that to present itself.
You're a go-getter.
Yeah. But an opportunity did present itself with Cheryl Gray, who you spoke to recently and know from way back. Nikki's actually known me my entire life.
Yes.
So,
but we've only reconnected this last 12 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's fabulous.
Yeah. So Cheryl is my sister, and she contacted me, I guess, to what me felt like out of the blue. Yeah. But she'd obviously been thinking about it for a while, and she had been running her business, Mulberry Seed, for a while by herself and just sort of getting the work done, but really not having the opportunity to expand or grow, or even get those day-to-day admin things done. Yeah. And she needed help with that, and felt that I was the person for the job, and it was just perfect timing for me. I felt like it was a new challenge for me. I'd never done small business. It was going to be a lot of things I knew I could do and things I did do, but also a lot of different things that I knew would challenge me. So good timing, and I moved into Mulberry Seed, and that's now moved into Purple Patch Coaching as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So if because the whole idea of the chat room is that we are having these conversations around women in business, and to give tips and show other people that are thinking or are going to go and start a business or go back to the workforce or are in business, and maybe they can have, tips that there are other people out there that are starting out, that are small business, doing incredible stuff in their communities. So what would you, 3 tips you'd want to give those women out there, do you think?
Yeah, I think my first tip would be to make a plan.
Yep.
So if whether you've made the decision or you're still thinking about it, but knowing that's your long-term goal, take the time to make a plan. Don't launch into anything. Have a think about how it impacts your life overall. So plan out, I guess, for you personally, your home life, but then what that looks like at work as well, and how you can bring it all together, and put some timings around that as well, so you can push yourself to achieve things. If it's that you've got a side hustle that you are looking to move into full time, it's the kind of thing you need to have a plan around before you do that. I guess
that's really important.
Yeah.
You've got to know that you've got the time and space to do it. No, that's really clever.
I think especially, and I found this when I moved out of a big organisation into small business, was I was so used to getting up at a particular time, getting ready, getting the bus, getting into the city, doing the day's work, bus home, and it was a really set routine. Whereas small business is not like that at all. No. Every day is different. You have no idea. We were just talking about the disaster that yesterday became. So things happen, things change, and you have to be able to manage that. And if you don't have a plan around the rest of your life, then that can be really difficult to manage. Yeah. I think my second tip would be to believe in yourself as well, to really make the decision and feel good about it. Be confident about it, whether it is you've been off for a while and you're going back, or stepping into something new. You have to, even if for a little while it's fake it till you make it, just get yourself out there and feel good about it, meet new people, and give yourself the time to get back into it. Don't feel like you have to be back on day one and knowing everything you have to do, because in reality that's not going to be the case.
And it's never perfect is the word that everyone likes. I want it perfect, but perfect is such a setup to fail sort of word. It could be excellent. It could be really good. And it's not saying that you're denying or you're trying not to give a really good product or a good service or anything, but while you're learning, you can't be excellent.
Absolutely.
Or perfect. You can do really well. Yeah. And then learn and just build on it.
And I think if you do that planning element, that you know, it's the first week might just be turn up. It
Yeah.
could be that simple, to set a goal just to turn up every day, and at the end of it feel happy that you've done it. It can be that simple, and then grow from that.
Yeah.
As you learn, that can be a frustrating process, or you could find it easy, but either way, you're not going to step into it and be perfect, because it's not a
Or you can have huge visions like
Yes.
I do, and then reality kicks in. You're like, oh, okay.
Right.
So I'll just come back a few steps to actually the reality of what is going to happen.
Yeah, and I think it's good to
have
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
but I think if you can have that and also have the semblance of real, the potential real outcomes as well, it can keep you grounded while you're there.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Oh, really good tips.
Yeah.
Yep. Fantastic. I love that. So one thing while you're saying all that, I'm also thinking I'm very lucky that I've got a husband that's allowed me, well, not allowed me in the sense, but is along that journey with me to support me while I was doing this.
Yep.
So with us coming backwards and forwards, I was able to sort of set up my massage and the studio, that sort of thing. And then getting into the crystal smelling salt, he's been so supportive. My kids have as well.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important to have someone there that's backing you, or just has an understanding? They don't need to know the details, but it's sort of, you do need someone while you're going through that. It mightn't even be a husband, it might be just a best friend or someone that I can text at night and go, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's really important to have someone you can talk to, and whether that's, I mean, my husband Adam has been super supportive through the career transition. I think he was really excited at first about getting 2 hours of the day back where he wasn't coming to pick me up from the city, but that has changed into a different kind of relationship now, where we have a lot more time together to talk about things. And I think just, you can just talk about anything, and whether that it's a partner or a friend, having someone you can turn to, whether it's you need to make a decision and you just need to talk it out sometimes, or you've had a bad day and you need someone to have a glass of champagne with.
Yeah.
That's
a girl bubbles. I think also, like, our husbands are maybe they're really busy, and there's ladies out there that or they don't even have a husband, they don't have that support network, but build up. And I know that people use the word tribes and all that, sort of build up your tribe around yourself, so that you know you've got the people there that you can sort of sound ideas off in a safe environment. That's important. So pick your friends wisely who you can do that for. You understand that girlfriend, she's not going to be able to give you what you need in that. So so acknowledge that, and then work within those boundaries as well.
I think that's where having a network, and whether that's being part of a formal networking group or just having your friends around you, you know the people you can go to for certain things and who can support you in a certain way, and having those people there is critical to getting through.
I went to the I think it's the Bayside Women's Network group. They were down at the Trailer Boat Club, and that was fantastic. A very different sort of group of ladies, more local sort of thing. I've had email conversations with a couple of them already. One lady's in rentals and things like, started up her own business. So that was really fun, that you can build up those relationships as well, that you can soundboard, because they're in it doing just what we're doing.
Absolutely. And sometimes that the business connection can be important. If you're talking to a lot of people who have never been in business, they can help you to a certain point, but that day-to-day, I'm sitting in a room by myself, how do I stay motivated sort of conversation, sometimes you need those people who are in the same boat to help you through that.
And plus having personal connection, like getting energy. I need to be around people, so definitely.
Really helps.
So that leads me on to a question. Do you think it's best to work like really, really hard, or work hard and smart, or that sort of? Some people believe in that if you outwork everybody else around you, that's what's going to make it for you, or that's success. Whereas some people are on the other side, will work smarter. You don't actually have to work harder. What do you think of that?
This is the question that stumped me, and I thought, I wonder how I will answer this.
It's a hot topic on lots of people on YouTube and all this sort of thing at the moment.
I've got two answers.
Okay.
So my first answer is I really think that working smarter is what we should do.
Yeah.
My reality is I work harder.
Yeah.
And I always have. And I think that's partly from the sort of roles I've been in. I've found that to stand out and be more, to move up or to, I guess, gain more, it's about putting in the hard yards.
Yeah.
And to me, that has meant a lot of years of working a lot more hours than everyone else. And that's made me feel good.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, might say, yeah, but you're tired or you haven't had time for this or that. And no, I haven't. But to me, I've felt good about it.
That's outweighed the goal that you're after.
Yeah.
That's the thing that you're going to get that sort of, not joy, but satisfaction from that you've achieved that.
Yeah, but I think there are ways we can work smarter and work hard at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm yet to I guess get there to that point, but I think that there comes a time where working smarter and knowing what to say yes to and what to say no to is important.
So what I'm hearing you saying, it's quite individual as well.
Yeah.
So you know yourself what works for you.
Yeah.
But try and set up those boundaries so that you don't get taken advantage of.
I think so. And it's probably, I guess, the definition to me, working smart when I was younger was working hard so that I could move up in a big organisation.
The reason why I've asked this question is because, like I said, there's a lot of sort of chatter around this topic at the moment. But coming into my business with the salts and working hard at trying to sort of educate people and finding the right sort of outward to let people know what it's all about, and then seeing that your work can also be copied or and that's lovely in a sense as well, that something is really working there. And I've sort of been thinking, and people aren't staying in their lanes. Like, remember I was talking about that? For everyone else, it's more about, you've got lots of people putting out affirmations and talking about lots of different things. And not everyone's a professional in those sort of areas. So that's been something that I've been taking awareness of at the moment. What I was thinking with the whole work harder or work smarter is just up my game.
Yeah.
Like, understand what message I want to do, where I want to go, and how, come up, because I know I've got the capacity to do that, to sort of, I'm going to work a bit harder, I'm going to work a bit later, but I'm also, that's where, because my goal is still there.
Yes.
So like you said, you have the goal. I agree, Beck. I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah, I think it's ultimately be the best version of you.
Yeah.
It's be whatever it works best for you in that time of your life or your career, be that and just work hard and smart every day at trying to achieve that.
Oh, very wise. You're very clever. I like it. Okay, so how much time do you spend on social media? One, work-wise and personally, because I love you come up with these beautiful, beautiful things, like notebooks and it's good.
Look, I'll be honest, it's a lot, but I think, so I was thinking about it and I thought I'd probably spend a good 2 hours on social media every day. That's phone in hand, really looking at things closely. It is a big part of my job as well, so I always have Facebook open on my computer throughout the day. I've always got an eye on what's happening, on news stories about social media, things that are changing. So if I included reading articles and reports about social media, that's hours and hours a day. But I do think probably a good 2 hours a day I've got my phone in my hand.
Have you set up any rules that you like when you don't look at your phone when you first wake up, or
I'm
something
really
like that?
bad with rules.
Yeah.
As you can probably tell from the rest of this conversation. But I do find it difficult to focus at times with notifications going off on my phone. So there are certainly days where I need to focus on doing other things, and I need to put my phone away. In order to do that, I'll close Facebook on the computer, focus on something else, because otherwise it takes so much longer to do a job if I'm constantly distracted. Definitely there are times at night when I try to at least just put it away for a couple of hours and be present, but I could be better at that.
I think we all say that we're not going to do it, but especially when it is your it is your business, it is your livelihood. That's where your interests lie. So you're going to be continually. That's why I wanted to ask the question. So I guess that leads on to the next thing. Where do you think it's all heading? This social media, the Instagram, the Facebook, it's been fabulous for businesses because it's sort of a free sort of get your self out there. Where do you think it's all heading? There's a new thing that's come up, isn't there?
There's so many things, and I think that if you have a business, you have to be on social media because it's where everyone is. I think the stat is that 92% of adults worldwide are on some form of social media. So if you're not there, you're missing a massive opportunity. I do think that the social media platforms will probably over time make it more difficult for business, whether there has been conversations about them separating business platforms and personal platforms, which would obviously make it more difficult to reach your audience. But in saying that, I do think there's merit now. We went through a phase where social was really important and you didn't necessarily need a website, and then we pushed for websites and being able to send people to different places. I really think eventually we will again ditch the website and just have social media platforms. Now that you can shop, like Instagram has shoppable options and Facebook has the same, there's less and less need to send people to your website to shop your items. So I think we're moving in that direction, and I think that video and audio content is where everything is moving. And so if you're planning a social media strategy for 2020, video is everything. There's definitely been conversations where they're saying even in a short time, like 2 to 3 years, that people will get up in the morning and listen to the news on audio. You know, everything will become audio visual, not scrolling through reading captions.
That makes sense too, doesn't it? I'm waiting for the time where everything's going to be a hologram.
Yes, it'll just be there.
How cool is that going to be?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so you run incredible workshops. I know I haven't asked you this, but you've been teaching people in small business how to do those sort of things. At the bottom, if people wanted to get in contact with you about those workshops and touch on the things, because Beck runs incredible workshops with how to do your social media, sort of like going from all her expertise into you setting up your own stuff. Incredible tips on how to do it, like tangible stuff. You leave. The food is beautiful.
No, that's what it's all about.
Lots of food. A few drinks in between. But honestly, the stuff that you walk away with, maybe we'll put something in there as well. Because I've never been to a workshop where you give so much of the information. That's all your knowledge, your years and years of knowledge, and Cheryl's and Nicole Walker's. So it's incredible. So we'll put that at the bottom if that's okay.
Yeah, I think they're definitely valuable. It's good to hear it from the other side as well, but we really focus on it being a small group, and it's practical. It's not being lectured to or giving you stuff to go away and do yourself. It's let's sit here now and
Step
and
1,
do
2,
it.
3 and you've got this.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what I like.
And whether that's you know, if you haven't got an account set up, let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do that now, and let's look at what's next.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Yeah.
So how do you weigh or gauge success? What do you think?
Difficult.
So success maybe in business sense and success in your personal life.
For me, I've always been incredibly competitive, and I would say at times that's to my own detriment, because I hold very high standards of myself, and I don't always meet them, and I beat myself up about it. So to me, like most people will say, winning is everything, but it's not winning. It's not being the best. It's being the best that I know I can be.
Yeah.
So definitely in my personal life, it's being the best version of me all the time.
I love hearing that.
Yeah.
What's one of my questions all the time is, what is about the best version of yourself? And this is what it's about.
Yeah. In business, I'm probably even harder on myself, really, and I guess because it's not my business, and while Cheryl will say that I'm a big part of what happens.
You are the person that we go to in Purple Patch, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I guess because of that, I feel as though the clients that we have, like, I'm a part of those businesses too, and everyone's success is a part of what I feel. So when we launch Crystal Smelling Salts, that's a big deal. So I guess I kind of get a lot of pick-me-ups from seeing everyone else succeed.
Yeah.
And over time, that becomes a bigger factor for me the more we do. So, yeah.
I think that care factor there that you have in that is what comes through, and why that makes you so personal. I'm sorry, the dog's barking. It's a very organic area here. I think that's good. And the people, we did speak about the people around you, that sort of thing, but there are also people around you that, not that you want to not be around, but people that you really do want to be around as well, that you try and get that energy, not take from them. You want to be able to give to them as well.
Yeah, and I think sharing those, it's a real privilege, the job that I have, because I share in everyone's business and in everyone's success, and being around that and constantly feeling the excitement of what everyone else is doing really helps me to keep going, and gives me the motivation to do the absolute best job I can for everyone.
Yeah. Okay, so has there been someone in your life, or something that you've read or listened to, that has had a profound impact on you, that you've sort of taken it away with you, and you sort of not live by it, but something that you can refer back to?
Yeah. I think from early days, mum and dad, massive influence, and I guess, like, our family split, so Mum had a lot of time in between to work between her two families, and when I came along, Dad was very much of the opinion that Mum should take the time and look after us and not have to work as well. So I was very lucky that Mum was around all the time, and really to the drives to and from every sport that I did and everything, that all happened. But really for me, it was seeing Dad work 6 days a week, and really
strong work ethic.
Yeah, and it was hard work. He was a fitter and turner. He worked hard his whole life, and we saw that.
Yeah,
we saw it, and he never pushed us, but always just said, if you work hard, you'll get what you need.
Yeah.
Not to be overly successful or be a high flyer, but to live happily.
Be the best person he can be. Yeah,
absolutely. And he worked really hard. He worked 6 days a week, but on Sundays we were a family, and he would spend his off time really well, and I wish I could do that better, but he was really particular about that. Yes, he worked a lot, and it was so that we could do all the things we wanted to do and not be held back. But then on that one day that he did have, he just wanted wanted to spend it with the family
and be present with you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah.
What a man. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Great role model.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. And it does have a profound effect on what you take forward.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think even when I finished school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I just hung around at home for quite a while until finally I got up and went and got a job at Subway.
But that's a job.
Yeah, but before that...
You know, it's a job, isn't it?
Yeah, I would never have thought before that I was, I guess, going to be a hard worker, but it just sort of kicked in.
Yeah.
That work ethic you'd seen your whole life was like, okay, well, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah.
It's good family values. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, so my last question, I just had to read it because I've got so involved in what we're talking about. My last question, what do you wish you knew earlier in your life that would have made things easier or made you stronger, or you can take it any way, any direction you like?
I think I had wished I had known earlier that it's okay to be who you are.
Oh, very
good. I think I'd spent a lot of, probably, I guess as many of us did in teenage years, trying to be what everyone else was or what I thought I should be. But actually, if I had have spent that time probably just being my genuine self, then there wouldn't have been as many years in between trying to figure out who that was.
I think that comes with age.
Yeah.
I think you've got to go through the growing stages to... What age do you think it happens?
I think I'm only just getting there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think still
there are days...
you
come across to me as such a grounded person.
Yeah.
So I think that you're there.
Yeah.
You're definitely there.
I think probably as I've grown and time has kicked in, there are certainly people that you are your real self with. I think there were, and probably still are for me sometimes, where I know I'm not being myself, but I'm being who I need to be to get me through a situation.
Sure. And that's okay too sometimes.
Yeah. But I wish I could not do that sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good. That's like a whole other chat.
Yeah,
I think
probably,
that's a whole other chat, that one. Maybe I should ask that question more.
Yeah.
Just that one question. This is what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's to do with age. I think you've got to go through the growth things to figure some things out, because you've got to grow to figure out who you actually are, and from the mistakes and from the things that you're seeing and experiencing.
Yeah.
But I think that once you get to a certain age, you sort of do.
Yeah, you just it starts to come together, I guess.
You're happy in your own skin.
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
But while you're getting there, have people around you that are going to support
remind you. And I think we have a very close family, and always that's where I've felt most comfortable and where I can be myself. Yeah. And having that around, I think, is a great privilege, really, because those people are always there to keep you grounded, and when you try to be someone else, they're there to whack you back down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My family included. Yeah. Absolutely. I love it. Oh, well, Beck, thank you so much. This has been gorgeous. It's been really lovely. I think that we've raised some good topics here that maybe I could explore and have you back, and we can chat about them as well. Yeah. I love your insight into a lot of the things that you've spoken about today. It's really nice hearing it come from someone who is, you're a good 10, 15, 20 years younger than me, so it's really nice to hear that and those point of views. Yeah. I think that it will really sort of resonate with the viewers as well.
Well, thanks for having me.
That's my pleasure. So don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the chat room today.